Hello again. So, okay, here is our activity to help us look at how property is classified, whether it's real property, personal property, or a fixture. I hope that you were able to find this document, Classification of Property, on the Blackboard file. If you weren't, I'd like you to pause this video and go look for that document. It should be in the Blackboard file, or it should be on Blackboard in the Week 2 module. You should be able to find a document called Classification of Property. Go look at that document, and there are 15 different items here. And I want you to look at each item and ask yourself, is it real property, personal property, or a fixture? If you think it's personal property, I want you to decide whether it's tangible or intangible. So you go do that, push pause on this video, and then when you come back we can go over them together. Best case scenario, you print the thing out and then write on it. That way you'll have it for future reference, which may come in handy. So if I were you, that is what I would do. Okay, now I'm going to believe that you pushed pause, you printed out the document, and you've written your little notes next to each item, whether you think it is real property, personal property, or a fixture. And if it is personal property, is it tangible or intangible? So we're going to go through these, each one together. So the first one is a car. Now, let's think about our definition of real property versus personal property. Real property is land and anything attached to it. Personal property is everything else. So a car is not land or anything attached to a car, or to land. Also, a car is movable. So therefore, a car is personal property. And is it tangible or intangible? Well, you can touch it, so it's tangible. The next item is a house. So again, let's look at our definition of real property versus personal property. Real property is land and anything attached to it. A house is attached to it. Therefore, a house is real property. Next, number 3, a computer. A computer is personal property. It's not land or anything attached to it. It's movable. It's tangible. Sorry. It's tangible. You can touch it. So a computer is personal property that's tangible. Next, a dishwasher. Well, a dishwasher would normally be personal property because you can move it. It's not land. It's not attached to the land, and you can move it, and it would be tangible because you can touch it. However, because we attach it to the house, we annex it to the house, it is treated as real property, and it's therefore a fixture. I guess I could have written on each one of these, but you do it on your own paper. And I mentioned you should print it out. You should, because I think something like this some of these are going to come up on quizzes and tests later. Number 5, an oak tree. An oak tree is attached to the land. It's growing out of the land, and it is considered real property. A fence. A fence is also considered real property. It's attached to the land. An RV home. Now this one gets a little more complicated because some people live in RVs. They're considered a home. But if it's on wheels and it works and it's movable, it is treated as personal property. I always get the question at this point about mobile homes, because mobile homes are more permanently attached to the land often through things like water systems and septic systems and whatnot. So a mobile home is often treated as real property, but there are cases in which a mobile home is treated as personal property if it's on wheels, if it's not attached to the land. So whenever there's a question, a judge is going to look at those 3 things. Remember, annexation, adaptation, and intention. If the mobile home has been attached to the land in any way, like through sewer systems and whatnot, then it's going to be considered real property. Okay, a satellite dish attached to the roof. This is a good one too, because it's attached to the roof. So I believe that this is a case where it's going to come down to a judge having to make a decision about whether the satellite dish is considered a fixture or if it's considered personal property. Next, a microwave oven sitting on the counter. A microwave oven sitting on the counter is not attached to the land, so it's not real property. And it's movable. It's not installed, so it's not going to be considered a fixture. So a microwave oven sitting on the counter is personal property, and it's tangible because you can touch it. Next, a microwave oven installed over the range. This is considered a fixture because it's installed, it's attached to the house. So, okay, a bank account. A bank account is not real property because it's not land or something attached to the land. It's considered personal property, and it's actually considered to be intangible because the bank account is not something that you can hold in your hands, and it's not something you can hold in your hands and that's worth money. It's an idea that's worth money, so it's intangible personal property. A thoroughbred horse. It's not real property. It is considered personal property because, even though it's living, personal property can be inanimate objects or a living thing. A garden shed. If this is attached to the land, it's going to be considered real property. I think most garden sheds are built right on the land, and they're considered, I'm sorry, I said personal property. I think a garden shed would be considered real property. Although there are cases where they're movable. A movable one, it's going to be tricky. It'd be up to a judge to decide, but I think it would be considered personal property. A field of wheat. This will be considered personal property. Even though it's growing on the land, it's not meant to stay there forever. It's meant to be cut down and sold or used. So a field of wheat is considered personal property, and it's tangible. Built-in kitchen cabinets. These are fixtures. They're built into the structure, so even though they're not growing on the land or attached to the land, they're attached to the house. So that makes them fixtures. And you remember, fixtures are treated like real property. That's what makes them not personal property. So anyway, I hope that helped straighten out some of it, and hope you found that easier than, more clear now than before.